Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Admin Show, episode 17. And I have two guests. They are yoga enthusiasts. And one is Yogi. He's PhD in yoga and is a celebrity yoga trainer. And Susanne is a math teacher and also a yoga enthusiast. So first, Susanne, go ahead and introduce yourself, a brief introduction.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here today. It's great to be here and share some yoga. I am a math teacher, like you said, and I'm also a yoga teacher, and I've been practicing yoga since 1986 when I was 18. So it's been a big part of my life for a long time. I'm 55 now. So I also, and so 2018, I became a teacher. And then last year, 2022, I got my 300 hour. So that's a brief introduction.
Right. So what interested you in yoga? Like, is there any?
The first time
Mm-hmm.
I was on college campus, I was a freshman, and I saw a flyer advertised that there would be yoga and facial massages. And it just sounded interesting. So I went, and it was like yin yoga, relaxing, calming yoga. And so it felt really good. And they taught how to do an Indian face massage. Apparently it's some kind of a traditional way of massaging the head and the face. And I just felt really good afterwards. So I kept coming back to learn more about it. And then the more I do it, the better I feel. So I've just stuck with it.
All right. Thank you, Susanne. Yogi, go ahead and introduce yourself. We know what interested you in PhD. Like pursuing PhD in yoga is really unique, and what interested you. And also, could you give a brief introduction about where the yoga originated, what is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and what is 8 limbs of yoga?
Hello, everyone. Hi, thank you so much, Namika, for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi, Susan. My name is Bhaskar Yogacharya, and I'm from Rishikesh, which is world's capital of yoga. So yes, that was an advantage. So started doing yoga since childhood. However, yoga is a vast subject. So the more you do, the more you feel, oh my God, I need to learn something more. And it's not just asanas or breathing exercises. It's not just flexibility, because these are the concepts people have in their minds, which are wrong, because yoga, these all are just some minute part of yoga. So as I am pursuing PhD in yoga, what interested me to do PhD was this feeling, was this zeal only, that when you do something, when you're teaching yoga, when you're doing yoga, every day there is something more to learn. And as I said before, that the more you do, the more you feel, oh my God, I need to know a little more about it. So as I've been training in different fields for the last 13 years, so I've trained many celebrities. I have trained in corporates and group classes, in studios, in gyms, multinational companies. So what happens actually, every time you do it at a different place, you get a different experience. So to be able to understand it even better, I thought of pursuing PhD. Now, if we talk about how yoga started and what is the origin of yoga, it is very difficult to say exactly what is the true origin. However, there has been many different concepts. Like in one, it was said by Sri Krishna to Arjun while it was the time of Bhagavad Gita, at the time of Mahabharata. That was one of the time when he spoke about yoga to Arjun. The other reference, as per Shiv Puran, Shivji spoke about yoga to Ma Parvati. He explained her what it is, because she asked him that how can you be so calm in all the situation? How can you just meditate? How can you just sit down for years and you're absolutely fine? You're as same as ever. So he explained her what yoga truly is, and as per the history, it is believed that we have somebody who's known as the father of modern yoga, and that's Maharishi Patanjali. So Maharishi Patanjali is the one who has given us 195 sutras. As per some references, it's 196 as well. So in these sutras, he has decoded yoga. in the simplest way as he could, which may be complex even when you try to read it though. But yes, if you read it, you will be able to understand it even better, and you will be able to understand what truly yoga is. And Maharishi Patanjali only explained about the 8 limbs of yoga. And these 8 limbs are yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Now, these all have got something significant. However, the interesting part is when Patanjali started talking about it in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he started it reverse, because ultimately he started with samadhi, and then he came to dhyan, dharana, and then pratyahar, and then he talked about all of the 8 limbs. Now, interesting part is this: what he meant to say by that is, when a kid is born, out of samadhi, and then comes the period of dhyan. So samadhi here doesn't mean that you are dead or something. Samadhi means you are in a state where you are conscious, however nobody can feel your consciousness there, though you are aware of everything. You are aware of your presence, you are aware of your surrounding, you're aware of everything. Then comes dhyan, when you truly are aware of this body as well. When you're in samadhi, you don't feel anything, you are aware only, you're conscious. Now with dhyan, you are aware of your surrounding, you're aware of your body, you start knowing things. Dharana is something to be able to grasp all of it. Pratyahara is ultimately inverting of all the senses. So whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we see, can you do it inside? That's what we try to do. We try to see inside, we try to feel everything inside. And then comes pranayama. Pranayama is breathing exercises. So ultimately, when a kid is born, when the kids start growing up, in few months, the kids start realizing what the body is, how body is moving, how body is reacting. Then comes pranayama, obviously realizing the breath, and asana, the movements of body. Asana is nothing but simply being able to do some movement stably. Then come niyam as well as yam. So niyam and yamas are the rules, some societal rules and some personal rules. And this is really interesting. The more you learn about it, the more you get intrigued. And you can get the idea of this one with my podcast, which is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. I have mentioned a little bit of details of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well as Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and on my YouTube channel as well, the same with Bhaskar Yogacharya.
All right. Thank you, Bhaskar. So, Susanne, do you have any comments on 8 limbs of yoga? And you said that you have adopted the lifestyle. Can you talk about that, please?
Yes, I loved hearing about that in the other direction, because I've usually heard it started with the yamas, and it's we start from the how we interact with the outer world, and then how do we interact with our inner world. And so that's the beginning of shining that light inside, which leads to eventually the breathing and the movement and the withdrawal of the senses, the concentration that leads us to that state of oneness, enlightenment, this samadhi, right? Out of samadhi. Did I say it right? I don't want to use the term wrong because I'm not getting my PhD, but I know that, like, for me, I've learned, in the holistic sense, that Yoga Sutra 1.2 is fundamental in my understanding, that it's yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga seizes the fluctuations of the mind. And that's really what we all want, is that peace from the fluctuations of our minds. And moving our bodies, the asanas, that's just one way to do it, to bring ourselves into that present moment. And I've learned over the years that it's so much more than just a physical practice and moving my body. In fact, the most challenging pose is sitting still with my breath and my mind and being at peace with what's there, with my heart, my feelings, my body sensations. And that's the whole, the 8 limbs of yoga align with the the noble four truths, the four noble truths of Buddhism, that we're all born into suffering because we're born into these physical bodies. And so we will decay and die. And that we all, too, that we create our suffering by attaching and reacting and fighting reality as it is. And those are those fluctuations of the mind. So when we sit and we meditate, or we do our poses and we start thinking about grocery lists and what somebody said to us and what we're mad about or what we hope happens or doesn't happen, this is all either craving or aversion. It's, give me what I want, or don't take away what I have, or don't, we're constantly somewhere else other than that middle path of peace. And so that's the third noble truth, is that there is a middle path of peace. And the fourth noble truth outlines that path. And it's similar to those 8 limbs, that, there's right living, right speaking, right action. And the yoga practice is one piece of all of that puzzle. So that's what I've learned in my yoga teacher training. And the 200 hours more about learning to become a teacher and to sequence the classes together and to learn the different formats. And then the 300-hour, my teachers told us at the beginning, this is where we adopt the lifestyle. It's not one yoga meal a day. It's all meals are yoga meals, which there's certain assignments for that, like sit down, no distractions, one bite at a time, stop before you're full, things like that, mindful eating, practice every day, meditate every day, and not just every day, but in the morning. And that's been a huge practice for me, is why first thing in the morning? I don't want to do it first thing in the morning, but it's because of the effect on the central nervous system. If we do it right away, then our brains don't have a chance to start thinking and causing those fluctuations of the mind that we're trying to avoid, in a kind of funny way to say it. It's like we need to do yoga before we need to do yoga, before we get ourselves all stressed out in the day. So that made a lot of sense to me. And my teachers have also taught me, if I'm not waking up and meditating and doing my yoga before work or before I start my day, then my homework is to explore the obstacles to that. Like, why am I not doing it? And that's a good question for all yogis, is, what keeps us from our practice? So those are some examples of how I've adopted the whole lifestyle.
All right, so we have some collections of yoga poses with Susanne and Yogi, and we are going to play this and then have a short discussion on that. So first is handstand pose, and also, let's talk about the Sanskrit, meaning, and Sanskrit, the translation of the poses. So, our users know what is about these poses. So first is handstand. So let me play this. All right, that's cool. So Susanne, do you have to say anything on your handstand?
Well, I've been practicing handstands since I was a child, but yoga handstands for almost the past 10 years. In May, it'll be 10 years. And I say yoga handstands because they are slightly different than a gymnastics style handstand, where we start from downward facing dog. And it's all about engaging the core muscles, the bandhas, which are the energetic locks at the base of the spine. There's a root lock, which is in the pelvic floor. And then there's the belly lock, the Uddiyana Bandha, that's a lifting in and upwards. And that gives us stability and lightness. And it's something that takes years and years of practice. So I've had lots of injuries in between, but I do try to practice these. I did 365. It's called handstand 365 on social media, where I tried to post one every day 10 years ago, but it took me 2 years instead of 1 year. And then I've broken my foot again, or not again, I broke my foot last July. And so I've started the challenge again for myself this January. So I'm trying to not forget how to do a handstand now that I've done more than 365 of them. So it's fun. It's inversions are really healing for our bodies. It reverses gravity's effect on our bodies. It's very decompressing. All the blood, the lymphatic fluids get to flow in the reverse order. Anytime the head is below the heart, you're in an inversion upside down. So it's just a fun way to bring my attention into the present moment and play with gravity and balance, as well as strength and persistence. It takes persistence because really a lifetime practice for me.
All right, Yogi, do you have any comments on that one?
Well, that's amazing. My God, Susan, that's really amazing. Yes, 2 years. Like I have got students. My God, they took ages, like 4 to 5 years, even to be able to do this way correctly. So that's just amazing. And she rightly said it's like all the inversions really not just for the body as well, but for the mind too. These are so relaxing. It really calms you down. It makes you feel so good that nothing could be better than that. And that's why we get this feeling that okay, I have to be persistent and I have to get through it. So this process of we trying to do some asana and to be able to achieve doing it is something incredible. This really helps us growing not just in the path of yoga only, but in the life as well. I'm sure like Susan will agree with me in this.
All right. Moving on to our next one, which is Ardha Chandra Asana. All right. So do you have to say anything, Suzanne?
Well, this one's a fun pose to start with. Is that the half moon pose is the original, where one leg's extended out, one arm is extended up, and the bottom hand can be either planted, or sometimes yogis will lift that hand to the chest. It is a real fun way to practice one leg balance as well as concentration. I don't know if you noticed, but I gazed up towards my fingertips, and using the gaze is another way to bring the attention to the present moment in yoga. And so that's a powerful balancing pose for me, as well as feeling that openness through the chest. There's a real north, south, east, west effect in the torso as well. So it's activating both upper body and lower body. And then I love the variation called candy cane, where I reach back for my foot and then kick into it for that back bend. And it just feels like everything in my entire body is open and activated. It's a really energetic pose. And then here I'm counter posing down into a Shiva squat as a counter pose, because yoga is a lot about opening and closing. These opening, closing movements are what help pump the prana, the chi, the life force energy through our tissues. So this is one of my favorite combinations.
All right, Yogi, do you have to say on the Ardha Chandra pose?
Well, it's the interesting part with yoga asanas specifically is that whatever you're doing, whatever asana you're doing, whether it's on some animal or something, like for example this one, Ardha Chandrasana. So yes, with this one you do feel the calmness of the moon as well when you practice something like this. And balancing, nothing better than balancing, because ultimately when you're just balancing on an asana, it is helping you to not just balancing only, but to increase your focus as well as attention span. That is what is a major problem these days, right? Because this is the culture of Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. So people just watch short things only, and like they tend to miss out on things. So these asanas really help in increasing that attention span as well, by doing balancing and by learning to concentrate. So it's just amazing.
All right. Moving on to our next one. Pravitra Trikonasana. I hope I'm telling it right. All right. Go ahead, Suzanne.
So it's going through my mind right now how this feels in my body. And I wish y'all could feel how this feels in my body, because this right here is so challenging, especially where you paused it. My broken foot is in the back, taking most of the weight. I'm crossing the midline of my body. My right hand is planted. I've been having left shoulder issues lately. And so my flexibilities feel stiff on that side. And so I'm really trying to open up through my chest. And also, there's another great memory that comes back with one of my teachers who does a great assist in this pose. And this is a tough pose to assist in because you might knock someone over in class if you're not careful, because there's so much going on here. But it's a real, this is the revolved triangle. The first one that's open is the extended triangle. And then this one where you cross the body and then turn is the revolved triangle. So yes, this is another example, that opening and closing I was talking about. And I love how Bhaskar mentioned the effects on the brain and the concentration and being in the moment with the balance as well. It's so key in this revolved version, especially for me. Also, I have spinal issues. I have a lot of orthopedic issues. And this one feels really good in my neck and spine, my hips, my legs. I get chiropractic movements in this one that feel like my body's coming into alignment. And this is one of the side to side motions from Ashtanga Vinyasa. This is one of the combinations from the beginning of the standing series. So definitely one of my favorite combinations, the extended triangle and the revolved triangle.
All right. Bhaskar, do you have to say anything on the Pavitra Trikona Asana? Did I tell it right?
Parivrita Trikonasana.
Oh, yeah.
Utthita Trikonasana.
So, Bhaskar, go ahead.
Nice. So the interesting part about this asana is how simple it looks like it's not. It is a difficult asana, and it takes really long time to be able to understand and adjust your body, align it completely, like aligning everything, your sacrum, your pelvic, everything in line. It's a lot of hard work. And I would say, firstly, great job, Susan. You're rocking. And
Thank you.
this asana,
And she also
so
told
this
the
asana,
Sanskrit version, like she only gave the name. I'm like, I don't know. I'm shocked.
that's
I'm so
really nice.
impressed.
Yeah, you should be. See, like as she mentioned that she's been doing yoga since she was 18, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like I'm so happy to hear that. So about this asana, I it really brings my memories back to the days of the learning yoga with the great VKS Iyengar, because this is one of his favorite asanas. Oh my God. It this is a asana. It like it used to take half an hour in each class because the alignment and everything is so crazy. Now the benefits of this asanas are tremendous. It's like people who have got sedentary lifestyle, they have got the frozen shoulders, they have got neck issues, they have got back problem, they should do this. If they just do this along with 2 3 warm-up exercises, nothing else needed to be done. People who don't have time, they can just take out 5 minutes to do this before their work or after on or in between whenever possible, and they will be able to get rid of spondylitis, cervical, as well as frozen shoulders. So this one is just amazing.
All right. Thank you, Bhaskar. Moving on to our next one. Devadatta Panna Asana. Hope I'm rightly pronouncing. If not, please correct me.
You're good.
All right, Susan, go ahead.
So this pose is called Fallen Angel. I learned it when I was in Aruba in 2014 on a yoga retreat with Rachel Brathen. She goes by Yoga Girl on social media. It was the first time I really learned how to do arm balancing. It's not really taught in most public yoga classes. And there's a lot of fear involved with balancing on the arms. So that was my introduction there to this pose. And I learned some key mechanics where it's really more about stacking the bones structure than it is about engaging muscles. But again, it's imperative that, the bandhas are engaged. I come from this Ashtanga Vinyasa lineage from Patabi Joyce, and we use the bandhas throughout our practice, and it gives us that stability and lightness. So I entered this from what's called side crow, where my knees were tucked in, and then lowering the head. It's important there to keep the neck straight and not bend it. That could lead to an injury. And so just gently resting on, this part of the upper head. Then I'm activated through my upper body and core. And then it's a matter of lifting one leg straight up to the sky, pointing the toe with that engagement, and then bending the bottom knee, hugging it in. And my, the elbow you can't see is resting on my hip. So there's a lot of stability there. And you'll see, the left elbow's got the knee on it. So it's more the bone structure. A lot of people are impressed by this, like, oh, you must be so strong. I'm not that strong. I can't do a pull-up. I can't really do that many push-ups, So this is a really, it's a neat pose to practice, and, just visually it's different. I will also close with saying one of my favorite parts of this pose is the spiritual symbolism in it. It's called Fallen Angel, and it's all about grounding down and lifting up. And when you've fallen down, that you lift up, and you're strong, but you're light. And so that's a neat meditation to be in while I'm in this pose physically. And it's something I can take off the mat.
All right, in the interest of time, we'll have to go quickly for the next one. The wide stance forward, C pose.
Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg fold. And this is a goddess squat, a wide leg squat. And here I'm just using one arm variation. It feels good to clasp behind the back sometimes too. And then this is one variation of that wide leg fold.
All right, we will now move on to Bhaskar. Surya. Before I go there, Bhaskar, do you have the fun fact that I shared with my viewers? Will you be able to talk about that and some benefits of Surya Namaskar? Yeah.
Well, Surya Namaskar is kind of a complete meal if you talk about like eating food, if you have everything together, all nutrition, all everything together. So Surya Namaskar is something like this, where you get everything, all. You're able to stretch, you're able to strengthen, you're able to bend. It is good for everyone. Everyone can do it. Obviously, if somebody has got lower back issues, then yes, they need to be careful. They need to do it under somebody's guidance. Though everyone can do it, and that is something which you can do at any time. Yes, just make sure that you should not eat anything for 2 hours before that. And let's come back to the fun fact part. It's actually, when you practice yoga or when you teach yoga, it's there are some asanas which you love to do personally. So everyone has got some favorites. So I really like to challenge my strength sometimes, though I always talk about more of the spiritual side of yoga. However, sometimes obviously everyone tries to test their strength and everything. So yeah, every time whenever I have to come down the escalators, I make sure that I try to test my arm strength and try to be in that asan, brahmacharya asan, and doing the brahmacharya asan while coming down the escalators. And yes, so it gives a tremendous strength, as well as it needs some good strength as well to be able to do that in your core as well as in your arms.
All right.
So yes.
Do you have anything to say to my viewers of the Atman Show, Yogi?
Oh,
I-
it's a great show. Sorry, Susan, you go ahead,
No,
please.
you go ahead.
Okay, so it's a great show. My God, I've been following it all along, and it's just amazing. It's my second time on the show, and I must say that yes, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And yes, you are a great host, Anamika. It's just amazing to be here. And Susan, I am really inspired by you, and I'm sure many people who will watch this video, they will be really, really feeling inspired by you. So it's just amazing. I'm so blessed to be here today with you two here.
Yeah. Can you tell my viewers to like, share, and subscribe the Atman Show?
Oh, yes, definitely. Please, firstly, subscribe the channel and then make sure that you like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family so that everyone can learn something, because she's really doing hard work to find people like us and even talk about something. And it's just amazing.
Yeah,
Great
and
job you're doing.
connect.
Exactly. It is really difficult, but yes, she's doing a great job and she must get appreciated by you guys by subscribing and liking. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, Suzanne, do you have anything to say to my viewers of the Atman Show?
I do. And thank you so much for having me here. You're a wonderful host. This show is very inspiring and the topics are so interesting. And I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to share the yoga light and the knowledge of my practice and experience. And also to meet Bhaskar. I've sent you a friend request on Facebook. Please like, request, comment, subscribe, follow the channel and share. And you can find me on social media at Yogini_bikini.
Oh, wow. I love that.
That's really, really great. I'm going to do that now only.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming to my show. Have a nice day and good luck. Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.
Thank you.